Yes, today is the 2016 BC Racing Coilover install. Thank you for having me on this show. My name is River Sanders, and this is the littest vlog I think most of you have ever seen, if not the littest channel. We are actually about to do a full install video. I'm super hyped about it. This is more car parts going on my 2016 WRX. Thanks for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the vlog. Yo, I just got thinking about it. Make sure to loosen your wheel bolts before your wheels come off the ground, or else it's gonna be impossible. Generally, when you do coilovers, you want your whole car to be off the ground, okay? Now, as you see right here, these jack stands are like 3 times taller than the ones I have underneath there. With that being said, I believe those are actually for like a truck or something. They're just a lot bigger. I think I'm gonna start on the back side of the car. I just lifted up the back first. We're gonna start there. I have it set up so the wheels are actually barely off the ground. Now, what that's gonna help me out with is it's gonna keep the car more level in the back end. When I'm taking out the strut, it's gonna make it feel more like if it was up on all 4. So I'm trying to keep it level as possible. Once we dig into it, I'll show you what I mean. But you just don't want to be ripping your CV axle boots, more in the front, but I'm gonna do this in the back just to kind of get a feel of it, and then I'll show you guys the process of it. This will be specifically for a 2016 WRX. I mean, 15 plus is what it's gonna work for. But guys, I have never seen a detailed coil install on a WRX on YouTube. Like, it was all them trying to film the process as they're going, and they just couldn't get it very detailed. So I'm gonna do my best to get this video as detailed as possible, and then you guys will hopefully learn from it and can use it as a tool to install your guys' coilovers. Okay guys, here we go, 2016 WRX, BC Racing Coilover install. I'm so hyped. Let's get it. Here we go! Okay, first thing guys, you're gonna wanna take off the wheel, okay? You've already seen I've already loosened them. All right, they're already loose enough. Take out the lug nuts. If you jam your foot right here, it takes the stress off of some of the bolts, because some of them will feel a little harder. Okay guys, take off your wheel. Look how sick that wheel looks. A little bit of stretch on the tire. Awesome. All right, let's put this aside. After you get the wheel off, come up to the top half of the car inside the trunk. As you guys can see, I already ripped everything out. I actually have this nice weather mat in there. I freaking love that. This is underneath it. I have my subs in there. So this is what it will look like if you guys do have a 2015 WRX or plus. If not, it's gonna look very similar. Go ahead, just kind of move this piece, get to where you can see the top hat of the coilover. Mine are actually underneath this little flab. There's the 2 nuts you have to remove. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off first. Okay, there's one, and then we'll get the second one off here. Okay, there's 2. You just leave those there for right now. Guys, it is like maybe 100 degrees out here. It is so hot right now, I'm dying. Hold on, Sophie got me some water.
She drank out of it.
I feel better. Huge shout out to Kirk. He provided me with this, and this thing is amazing. It seriously helps the job go by faster. So this is not used to break the nuts and bolts loose. It's just kind of like an electronic drill, but the shape of it allows you to get up in here. So I mean, if you guys have a drill, you could use a drill. If not, you can just do it by hand, but this kind of makes it a lot easier. Right in here, there is 2 bolts. This one is for the rear sway bar. As you can see, it just goes straight through like that, attaches to this, and then this is your rear sway bar that you could actually change out and replace with high performance one. And then this one is literally the only bolt to your shock. So we're gonna remove both of them. This one will relieve the tension of pulling this out. So just take both of these off and then you're good to go. If you believe it or not, I used to be a welder. So these are actually some TIG welding gloves that I like to use because they're leather. So they're very like hand fitting. I like to use them because they cover my whole hand. I don't get as dirty, and they're still like workable. This bolt right here is gonna be a 17. Okay, the one behind it is actually gonna be 14, and that's only if you're stock. If this is upgraded, I believe this one changes to a 17 millimeter as well, but for right now, 14, 17. Go ahead and remove that. You're gonna need one of these nifty difty wrenches. Ranch? Oh my God. Are you serious? All right, so yeah, grab your 17 millimeter wrench. Like I said, break this loose first before you use any tool. You might actually be able to fit a drill in here. It's pretty open, but I wasn't really sure thinking about it yesterday, so now I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that. See, brakes really loose. That's what's good with having a new car. The OG Subi would have been like snapping bolts and rust breaking. I actually didn't even spray WD-40 on this side. I did the other side, but that's always a good thing to do, just to help break it loose. And then you go ahead and put this on. Pop, pop, peep, peep, peep. Put this on here. Chick-a-boom. Woo! Okay, there's one nut. Nut. We're gonna break this one loose with the 14. If you guys do have some time, I mean, hit it with some PV blaster or some WD-40 will work just as fine the night before. Let it sit overnight. If you do have an older car, then maybe it will help with breaking those bolts loose. But right now, they're coming off pretty damn easy. Wow. My sister just left me. Now I don't have any help and I'm really sad because for this job, guys, you need a second hand. And now I'm SOL. Now that you have these two bolts undone, I'm just kind of tapping them out just to kind of break the whole strut loose. So now that they're flat, I will go ahead and, oh, what's going on here? I'm gonna go ahead, pull them out, and then the bottom is good to go. With pulling the bolts out, as soon as you push them through like that, I mean, there could be a better way to do this, but it's just how I'm doing it, so, and it's working for me. As soon as you hammer it flat, it does this because the control arm moves. So if you go ahead and jam a screwdriver in this end and pry it back up like that, it was able to come right out. So that's just kind of how I did it. It didn't ruin the threads at all. So it looks like everything was okay to do that. I'm not sure if that's the best way, but now you guys can see it's totally free and loose right in here. See, it totally moves. And then same with the sway bar right there. So now what you got to do, this is where you need a second person, is because you're gonna have to step on this brake like this and hold on, I got this, boys. Hold on. All right, no freaking way, no way. Oh my gosh, dude, I just did that by myself. All right, you don't need no help needed here. Check this out. I seriously just did it by myself. Wow, that's freaking awesome. Well, now that you got that, it should just come out just like that. Oh my gosh. All right, 20K19 reverse coilover install. Check this out. All right, we do not need this piece of crap. Now it is time for the BC coilover. My battery's about to die. Let me hurry and change it real fast. Coming down here, you can see the difference between the stock strut and this new coilover. Yeah, the difference is crazy. This looks amazing. This don't. Amazing, nah, amazing, nah. Man, I think they look good and I'm ready to put this in. So now we're gonna bring this over here. I can't believe I got that strut out by myself. I seriously had to have Sophie help me with the first one. I can't believe I got it out by myself. That's freaking lit. Y'all are Snapchatting me because I put a little teaser on my story about today's video. But let's go ahead, start the install with this one. First things first, gotta take off these little nuts. And these are going to replace the top ones in here, as you can see. So I just go ahead, set them right there. And then as soon as we feed it up through, you can just hurry and throw them on. I actually do not have someone with me anymore, so I'm gonna try to get the rest of the film the best that I can. And hopefully we end up with a lit vlog. River, that ain't even a question, bro. Come on. Come on. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the top hat up in first, but I'm just putting the two prongs through the holes. Okay, I got the coilover up in there and I actually just have a screwdriver holding the coilover right there so it doesn't fall out and I can hurry and put these screws on. If you do have someone to help you, it's a lot easier. Then you don't have to use a screwdriver, they can just hold it for you. Now I didn't tighten them all the way just to keep them a little loose so it's a little bit more adjustable down on the bottom end. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this screwdriver out, I'm gonna get this sway bar all lined up, and I'm gonna put the two bolts back in and then tighten everything down. The two bolts are back in. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the nuts on the other side and tighten everything down. Okay boys, the coilover is fully installed. Look how good it looks. I love that bronze champagne color to the coilover. Everything is ready to go. Now it's time to put the wheels on and just lower it down, see what it looks like, and we should be good to go to move on to the front. I just dropped it down, and obviously that is not what any of us were expecting, but then again, kinda. So what I actually did for my coilovers is I didn't even adjust them at all. I just kept them how they were right out of the box and installed them, and then I was gonna adjust them from there because I didn't know how they were gonna sit. Cause now I can go back in and I'm gonna be like, okay, well now we need to drop it, you know, a lot. So I can go in and measure it all. I did also talk to a guy and he told me he was just maxed out low on the BC coilovers, and his car looked good, but a little too low for me. So maybe the back end will max out and the front end we will keep at a certain height. But then again, I don't know if we need them all the same measure. I'm gonna have to look into that. I honestly don't know. I'll figure it out before I end this video though. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start on the front right after I take a lunch break. I'm freaking hungry. I need to go eat something, so I'm gonna give it a break for a second. Yo, what's up? Okay everybody, we are back. I got black stuff all over my face. What is that? First things first, take off the front wheel and then we'll continue from there. Okay, now that I got the wheel off, you guys can see how easy this actually is, okay? The front's actually a little bit more complicated. Just because you have to take off 2 wires, which the ABS and the brake, it's just a clip and a bolt, and then you just separate them. You just don't wanna stress them, you don't wanna pull on them and rip them, so just keep them safe. And then there's just 2 bolts right here, and 3 bolts up here at the top. Now, this one's only a little bit more complicated because you have to do more things. The rear seemed to be just a little bit harder to do the rear. This one falls out a little bit easier, it comes out a little bit easier. It's easier to get back in, all the above. Definitely easier with another person. But like I said, my sister bailed on me, so I've been doing this by myself. I'm a freaking G for doing that. And I'm just a G for doing that. I'm gonna remove the top 3 nuts, and then we'll continue to the bottom. Up here, they are 3 12mm. I'm not sure, let me check actually real fast. Before I do that, I'm actually gonna move all my tools over to the other side. Let's get all this situated. That don't look very situated. 12mm for the top. We got 3 12mm bolts. Let's go ahead. Easy, easy, easy. And then I'm gonna do some of this, some of this, some of this, and then some of this. That was kind of messed up. Probably shouldn't have dropped it. Oh wait, BC includes new top bolts, so we're chilling. Okay, now that we have the top 3 bolts removed, we're gonna come underneath, we're gonna unattach the 2 lines, and then we'll undo the 2 bolts, and then that baby just drops right on out. It's just this line and this line. This one is just a clip, so you literally just have to get a screwdriver, push down, pop it out, and then over here on this side, I believe that's a 12mm as well, and it slides right out. Okay, so next you're gonna wanna take out these 2 bolts. Remember, this one has a little washer in there, so don't forget to put that back on the top bolt. And the top bolt is actually the alignment bolt. You might wanna put a little mark right here on the top, so then when you do tighten it, you actually get it back in the same spot. But other than that, we're gonna take these 2 bolts out, and then it just drops out. And it's actually kinda scary because when I did that side, I almost dropped it and actually dropped it on the ground. You gotta be careful because this CV boot, you don't want it to rip. And when it comes down, it comes down. Because if you rip it, then you're in a whole nother level of replacing this, and it's like a $200 replacement, I'm pretty sure. Just be careful, use a jack if you're by yourself, if not, use a homie. We actually had a homie show up. Okay, so we got the nuts off of the bolts, so I'm just gonna actually take a hammer and pound them out a little bit, and then after they come out, it all drops. So I'm gonna back the camera up so you guys can see me struggle. It's still in there good. Guys, for some reason, that one was 3 million times harder than the first one. As you can see, I got all installed. I did it by myself. It worked out fine. And then it seemed like when I jacked it up right here, which is probably the worst thing to do, it made it 3 times easier. Yeah, that thing would not come out, but I got it out. And like I said, just be careful of that boot right there. It actually dented it a little bit, but I just popped it back out and it's not leaking or it's all secure. Careful of these guys. Now we're gonna be able to put this in as the new one. I'm super excited. Thanks to the homie. He happened to stop by right when I needed help. And now we're about to install this one, so let's get it. Same as the back one. The only thing that's different with this one is you'll have to just put the line onto this part and then clip it into this side. They make it all provided for you, so everything's pre-drilled and everything. Before you guys install these, notice they have an R and an L for the right and left side. Now this is determined by driver right and driver left side. So just don't get those mixed up or else you might have a problem in the end. Stick these up first. Once again, guys, be careful of the wire. It's always easier to have a second hand. Screw in those top ones so it holds the coilover in place, and then you can work on the bottom. Now it is time for another struggle. This goes into here, so however you end up doing that, just get it in there and put the bolts through the sides. All right, here we go. Bro, did it go in this way?
Yeah, it went in there.
Okay. Boom. Use that for the bottom one. Boom. And now they're through, you're good to go. Remember that the alignment bolt has the washer. Now I'm basically just gonna go through, hand tighten everything down to make sure it's all snug. That is 100% installed. I'm sweating my ass off. Now I'm gonna go ahead, throw the wheels on, get it dropping down, and then we'll figure out where we need to go from there. Double check, make sure everything's tight before you do drop it down. Just because you want everything snug, you don't want anything loose. Especially with your suspension. That'd be kind of bad if you're driving your wheel come off. That would not be chilling. I'm starting to think they're just about the same as the stock suspension. So I'm gonna have to adjust them for sure. But I kind of want to just get them installed and get them situated. And I honestly want to drive a day with them on just to get them all settled and everything, so I only have to move them once. So let's go ahead and drop the Subi down real fast. It's too low, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, where's my camera? The car's too low now. I can't even get the jack out. Oh my, wait, is that all the way down, dude? There's no way that's all the way down.
No, I don't think that's all the way down. Yeah, that's all the way.
Is it?
Yeah, it's twisted all the way.
Oh my gosh. Wait, no, dude, there's something weird. Got this all situated. For some reason, it was messed up. I had to use this one to get this one out, and I don't know what happened, but that killed the wheel space a little bit, huh? I don't want to go lower just because of this reason, but like for this reason, I want to go lower. The back definitely needs to go down, but that helped out the front quite a bit, actually. They look so good from the top. I'm looking at my steering wheel. That was straight when we started, so we're definitely gonna need an alignment. I'm gonna go ahead and drive this just around my block. Obviously, I need an alignment, and it's not gonna be okay to drive it right now, just to get everything settled, just so when I do adjust the height, it's kind of settled down just a little bit. Hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier to get the springs all adjusted a little bit here. All right, so backing out right now. Subarus always make you put on your seatbelt. Wow, guys, I can already feel a difference. This is insane. Kind of doing some swerves to make sure I tightened everything down okay, make sure I didn't miss anything. I just started out in second gear, so that just shows you how OG I am. Guys, I definitely need to lower it, and I'm super excited to do so. Oh my gosh, this has put the biggest smile on my face. Okay, I'm already back home. Sadly, I want to keep driving, but I can't. Okay, fam, we are back at home. Time to take another break, and then we'll get back to it.